Everyone, welcome to First Parish in Concord. We are so happy to welcome Southern Rail as our special musical guest this morning.
It is already a good morning, isn't it? Indeed. Welcome to First Parish in Concord. Welcome to worship, whether you are at home or watching later on YouTube, whether you are here in the sanctuary. It is good to be together. I am the Reverend Liz Weber. I am your minister for congregational care, here today leading service with Beth Norton, our Director of Music Ministries. And we are so delighted to welcome Southern Rail, our special musical guests. They wouldn't brag about themselves, but I'm going to brag about them so y'all know what a treat you're in for if you hadn't figured it out already from the music itself. Southern Rail has been a mainstay of the Northeast acoustic music scene for decades. Their bluegrass is high-spirited, exuberant fun with stunning harmonies, irrepressible good humor, and sparkling banjo, guitar, and mandolin. The group has 11 recordings to their credit, and two of the band's members, guitarist Jim Muller and bassist Sharon Horowitz, were recently inducted by Rhode Island Bluegrass Alliance into their Bluegrass Hall of Fame. Bluegrass Unlimited magazine calls them one of the most significant groups in contemporary bluegrass on the cutting edge of creativity. Welcome. Yes. I want to share with you, if you're in the room, our COVID precautions. We have masks in this room, and then masks are optional elsewhere in the building. It's because we have different ventilation in different areas. Small groups of singers can unmask while singing, and those of us speaking from the pulpit or leading worship will unmask so that we can be heard. After service, I want to invite you to stick around. I always say stick around all day, and this time I really, really mean it. So after service, if you're looking for a smaller group to check in with about how today's worship touched your spirit, the worship sharing circle is for you. They meet online and in the Brooks room that way. If you're looking for a less structured time, coffee hour is for you. And today, that's on Zoom and down in the Parish Hall. You can get anywhere in the building via the elevator that is back in service. At coffee hour today, I especially want to invite you not just to talk to CC King, who's our standing committee rep way in the back, but also to stick around because Southern Rail will be down with a table for, you can check out their CDs, you can also check out their touring schedule. They'll be back here in the area pretty soon and a few times this spring. Additionally, Reverend Carrington Moore is here from Common Cathedral, and he'll be offering our social action candle today, but he'll also be at coffee hour, so I invite you to talk with him. Thank you for being here, Reverend. Then, keep sticking around because at 11:30 we have a covenant workshop with CC and team. And then keep sticking around because at 2 o'clock you can either Zoom in or head over to West Roxbury for the UU Urban Ministries Theodore Parker lecture. It is on policing in Black communities through history with an eye towards changing the public safety narratives. It's presented by Rashawn Hall. So that's just today. And then there's more, right? So you've got your announcements sheet. You can find it online as well. And then you've got FP Weekly that has the actual Zoom links and everything that's farther out. I especially want to highlight this Saturday is the First Parish Talent Show. So look to everything today, look to everything on Saturday, everything in between and farther beyond. That was a lot of announcements. So let's, if you're in the room, rise and say hello to our friends on Zoom. And if you're on Zoom, wave to us in the room because we can't see it, but we can feel it. let's enjoy our centering music.
On that resurrection morning, when the word of God shall sound, we shall rise, we shall rise. When the saints will come rejoicing, and no tears will there be found, we shall rise, we shall rise.
We shall rise.
Hallelujah.
We shall rise.
Amen. We shall rise on that resurrection morning, when death's prison bars are broken.
We shall rise.
Hallelujah, we shall rise on that resurrection morning. What an evening it will be. We shall rise, we shall rise. When our fathers and mothers and loved ones we will see, we shall rise, we shall rise.
We shall rise.
Hallelujah.
We shall rise.
Amen. We shall rise on that resurrection morning, when the prison bars are broken.
We shall rise.
Hallelujah, we shall rise on that resurrection morning. Blessed thought it is to me. We shall rise, we shall rise. Where will be the blessed Savior who so freely died for me? We shall rise, we shall rise.
We shall rise.
Hallelujah.
We shall rise.
Amen. We shall rise on that resurrection morning, when the prison bars are broken.
We shall rise.
Hallelujah, we shall rise on that resurrection morning. We will beat him in the air. We shall rise, we shall rise, and be carried off to glory to our homes so bright and fair. We shall rise, we shall rise.
We shall rise.
Hallelujah.
We shall rise.
Amen. We shall rise on that resurrection morning, when the prison bars are broken.
We shall rise.
Hallelujah, we shall rise.
Worship is by Ian Riddell. Come one, come all. Come with your missing pieces and your extra screws. Come with your hard edges and your soft spots. Come with your bowed heads and upright spines. Come all you flamboyant and drab, verbose and quiet fidgeting and lethargic. All you with large vision and tender hearts. All you with small courage and tender fears. Bring your lisp and your stutter and your song. Bring your gravel and your drawl and your lilt. Bring your anger and your joy and your righteous indignation. Misfits and conformists and everyone in between, come into this space and be welcome. Bring who you are, bring where you've traveled, bring what you long for, and let us worship together.
Like Unitarian congregations all over the world, the symbol of our faith is the flaming chalice. And we begin our time of worship together by lighting that chalice and reminding ourselves how we are connected to other Unitarians and Unitarian Universalists. So I ask you to join me right now and let us say together our chalice response, which is in your order of service, and for those of you online, you'll see a slide. O flame of our faith, open our hearts and fill our bodies and souls with persistent strength. Enliven our spirits and engage us deeply in this life of ours, this sacred, essential moment now.
We invite you all
So if you haven't already caught on, a lot of the traditional elements of our service today are musical, which is a delight. Our wisdom story will be told in music, but I want to set it up a little bit with a brief story about William Ellery Channing, who is one of our Unitarian ancestors, a 19th century minister who is actually credited with defining American Unitarianism. He saw the Bible not as a divinely written book that could not be changed, but as divinely inspired and written down by human beings and subject to interpretation over the centuries. He saw Jesus as a gift to humanity, whose life was meant to show us how to live and how to love. Channing is famously credited by saying, "May your life preach more loudly than your lips. May your actions speak more loudly than your words." When I hear this next song, "The Only Bible," I think of that lesson from William Ellery Channing.
Tries to hide her feelings, but she's reaching out to say, "What your actions be the answer she is looking for today." Everything you do, everything you say, every move you make, every single day, should be a true reflection
I'm the Reverend Amy Friedman, and I want to say happy spring. You can feel it in the air, you can feel it in here. Thank you so much for sharing your gift of music with us today. Today in our religious exploration, we also have a special program. One of our own 9th grader, Leah Pavlov, is going to share with us her gift of dance. She's been studying classical Indian dance for many years, and she's preparing a special piece which she's going to share a part of with us, and we'll learn more about that wonderful tradition before you go off to your RE groups. So I want to invite first our RE guides to come forward so that you can help lead our children and youth. We're going to go directly from here down to the Parish Hall so that we can partake in that dance performance. So, and we have a different song to lead us out. It is Children Go Where I Send Thee.
Children go where I send thee, how will I send thee? Oh, I'm going to send thee one by one to the one who's a little bit baby. Born in Bethlehem. Children go where I send thee, how will I send thee? Oh, I'm going to send thee two by twos. Two was the Paul and Silas, one was a little bit baby. Born in Bethlehem. Children go where I send thee, how will I send thee? Oh, I'm going to send thee three by threes. Three was the Hebrew children, two was the Paul and Silas, one was a little bitty baby. Born in Bethlehem. Children go where I send thee, how will I send thee? Oh, I'm going to send thee four by fours. Four was the four that stood at the door. Three was the Hebrew children, two was the Paul and Silas, one was a little bitty baby. Born in Bethlehem. My children, go where I send thee, how will I send thee? Oh, I'm going to send thee five by five. Five was the gospel preacher, four was the four that stood at the door. Three was the Hebrew children, two was the Paul and Silas, one was a little bitty baby. Born in Bethlehem. Children go where I send thee, how will I send thee? Oh, I'm going to send thee 10 by 10. The 10 was the 10 commandments. 9 was the 9 that stood in the line. 8 was the 8 that waited at the gate. 7 was the 7 that never got to heaven. 6 was the 6 that didn't get fixed. 5 was the gospel preacher. 4 was the 4 that stood at the door. 3 was the Hebrew children, and 2 was the Paul and Silas. 1 was a little bitty baby. Born in Bethlehem.
Our reading is from Imani Perry, from her book, Breathe, A Letter to My Sons. Take the time to strip yourself down to the core, to the simplest of joys. What if you dream your life, but remove all money moves, all contingent material fantasies, and just fill it with connection, grace, and rituals? How would it be? What would it look like? That isn't an ascetic's dream so much as it is a gospel of living in the along. It's a ritual of reorientation, a steadying, a sense of grace. Here ends our reading.
You don't knock, just walk on in the door. There's love and joy to share. I know my friends are there. Get ready. You don't knock, ring, push or hold. The door's wide open and waiting for you, so you don't knock. You just walk on in. I walk like my road. Oh yeah. Trying to rid this love. Oh yeah. I travel all night and day. Oh yeah. So tired and hard to pray. Jesus, my life and guide. Never by my side. Oh yeah. So I'm walking, I'm knocking into heaven. And cry. You don't knock, just walk on in the door. There's love and joy for you to share. I know my friends are there. Get ready. You don't knock, ring, push or hold. The door's wide open, waiting for you, so you don't knock. You just walk on in. I have to be the deal. He is everything. I know my word is true. So glad the day is through. What won't even say? I didn't think I'd make my way. So I'm walking on, knocking into heaven. Goodbye. You don't knock, just walk on in the door. There's love and joy for you to share. I know my friends are there. You don't knock, ring, push or hold. The door's wide open and waiting for you, so you don't knock. You just walk on in. You don't knock, just walk on in. You don't knock, you just walk on in.
Recently, I saw a Facebook post from the food pantry and meal delivery service in my neighborhood. They were asking for help delivering food and meals the next afternoon. I happened to have the time, so I said yes, I could do some deliveries. They gave me 5 parcels of food and a list of addresses and phone numbers and names. Started driving around and the deliveries were going smoothly and easily. Most people said, just leave the box on the porch. And then one neighbor, she said, can you bring it into the hall? I said, sure. Her door was locked. I called her back. The door's stuck. She said, oh, I'll buzz you right in. The buzzer didn't work. She said, let me throw you the keys. I said, okay. She was up on the 2nd floor, and she couldn't do stairs anymore. So she got herself out to the porch, and I backed myself off of her porch so that we could see each other over the balcony railing, and she said, here, can you catch these? And I said, I hope so. Turned out I could catch them. Let myself in and realized, ma'am, would you like me to bring the food up to your apartment? Yes, she said, that would be really helpful. So I carried the food upstairs. Where would you like it? Would you like me to bring it to your kitchen? Yes, she said, that would be helpful, thank you. Set the box on her kitchen table. We exchanged some pleasantries. It was a nice little moment of connection. And then she said to me, would you like a bottle of water? I had water in my car. It was about half empty and not very cold anymore, so I said yes. And I hadn't realized that I wanted anything, that I needed to be fed in return. But I did. That water was so cool and so clear and just brought my spirits and my day up a little bit higher because the road had gotten long. It was a nice moment of connection, a way of seeing a little bit of heaven, a little bit of the gospel lived out here on earth, a way that we could make each other's lives a little better. Mavis Staple writes, "You don't knock. Just walk on in the door of heaven's gate. There's love and joy for you to share the whole day through. The door's wide open, waiting for you." What would it mean to really believe these words and live as if they were true? What would it mean to say yes to heaven? And what if we didn't wait until we died? What would it mean to say yes to heaven right here on earth in our daily lives? I want to offer two implications today. One is that it's up to us to create heaven here on earth. Our Universalist forebearers were really clear about this. They believed that heaven was every person's ultimate destination. In Christian scripture, John teaches that God is love. How? Apparently, the Holy Spirit, which is wind, agrees, all right? How, they asked, could a loving God condemn God's children to hell? Impossible. God's love must lead to universal salvation. Further, they said, if God is our loving parent, then we are all siblings. Knowing that we are interconnected across our town, across our nation, across even our planet, would, they believed, lead us to want to take good care of one another. Early 20th century Universalists envisioned a new world order in which every person was cared for, and justice was the law of the land. Our job as religious people, they taught, is to bring about this transformation in our wider society, to do our best to bring about heaven here on earth. Now, our predecessors were a little bit more optimistic than most of us might be today. They thought this social transformation was both inevitable and that it would happen pretty darn quickly. At this point, we've lived through many waves of progress and backlash. And aren't we in a terrible wave of backlash against our trans children and our trans adult siblings today? And yet, like our ancestors, we believe that it is up to us to work to make our world a better place. Like them, we honor our interconnectedness and we fight for justice for one another. As Southern Rail sang in our gathering hymn, if you want to get to heaven at all, you must go hand in hand. We've been doing some good work hand in hand in our congregation. I want to lift some of that up because it's worth celebrating. First and foremost, all of our social action teams continue steadfast. If you are looking for ways to join in, look to FP Weekly from last week, which was the social justice focused week, or ask around at coffee hour. I also want to highlight our coming of age youth's invitation to participate in their clothing drive for City Reach and invite you to learn more about Common Cathedral. Also, we've been doing some good internal work towards bringing heaven right here into our sanctuary. Over the past several weeks, we've learned about bearing witness to one another in radically inclusive ways from CB Beale. With me and Cece and our covenant team, we've gathered threads and ideas into a set of promises we might make to one another in our congregational covenant to help us live well together. And with Seth, just in the past couple weeks, we've delved into our history as a congregation and as individuals, beginning to learn to live and move into greater authenticity. We're not going to make our community perfect, or our world for that matter. That's not what it means to create heaven here on earth. Perfect is impossible anyways, and it's not really what we're after. Rachel Naomi Remen calls it the booby prize in life, a false and fragile veneer that actually separates us from ourselves and one another. So I'm preaching imperfectionism here. The idea that we can work to make this world better, and at the same time that we are good enough. We can deliver food to our neighbors, and we can accept food or a bottle of water when we are in need. We can rejoice in the wonder of caring for each other and reciprocity and how another's care shows up as a surprising slice of heaven. You don't knock, just walk on in the door of heaven's gate. There's love and joy for you to share the whole day through. The door is wide open, waiting for you. So this is part 2. There is love and joy available to us here, now, if we say yes to it. Here's how Mary Oliver puts it. Every day I see or hear something that more or less kills me with delight, that leaves me like a needle in the haystack of light. It was what I was born for, to look, to listen, to lose myself inside this soft world, to instruct myself over and over in joy and acclamation. Nor am I talking about the exceptional, the fearful, the dreadful, the very extravagant, but of the ordinary, common, very drab, the daily presentations. Oh, good scholar, I say to myself, how can you help but grow wise when such teachings as these, the untrimmable light of the world, the oceans shine, the prayers that are made out of grass. Mary Oliver was good at catching those small moments around her that called for noticing and praising and relishing. I suspect she had a habit of cultivating delight. I've been cultivating that practice myself. Paying attention is the secret. Delight often springs from a small moment that is easy to miss. That joy and that love can be there in plain sight, but we often overlook it. If you too want to cultivate joy and delight, I recommend the buddy system. Pick a friend or a family member and invite them to swap delights with you each day. Commit to a week or a month of this practice and see what happens. My friend Mark David and I have been swapping daily delights for the past couple of weeks. We text each other at the end of the day, each of us sharing our own delights and celebrating what was good in the other person's day too. Sometimes we text bonus delights during the day if the mood strikes. Here are some of my recent delights. Watching a muskrat skim the water by the riverbank. Letting my dog run off leash in the woods. Making art that is bright and joyful. Gathering with a dear group of colleagues that has met monthly since the 2016 election. The sun on the first day that was warm enough to be outside without a coat. Good chocolate. And of course, that bottle of water from my neighbor. As the days have passed, looking for this love and this joy, I have started to feel more joyful. The circumstances of my life have not changed, but I am paying better attention and better directing my attention. Through that direction, I'm becoming more able to notice the beauty and the joy in the small parts of my day. The heaven I'm saying yes to these days isn't a grand vision, though I hold that too. It's the small, sweet moments that make me smile. I commend the practice to you. Feel free to share your delights with me when we see each other. You don't knock. Just come on in the door to heaven's gate. There's love and joy for you to share the whole day through. The door's wide open, waiting for you. Friends, we can say yes to heaven here on earth. We need to keep working together to make our vision of justice and liberation a reality. And we also need to cultivate small moments of joy, love, and delight in our daily lives. Heaven is on its way, and it is already here. As our Universalist heritage teaches us, God's love is a love without end. Let us make it visible here on earth. Let us say yes to heaven in our lives, to all that we hope for, and all that we already share. Blessed be, and amen.
It's a secret that my daddy said. They knew half the things I'd done, they'd never let me in. Then somewhere from the other side, I heard these words again. They said, let me tell you a secret about mother's love. It's a secret that my daddy said is just between us. See, daddies don't just love their children every now and then. It's a love without ending. They said, let me tell you a secret about a mother's love. It's a secret that my daddy said is just between us. See, daddies don't just love their children every now and then. It's a love without ending. Amen. It's a love without ending. Amen. It's a love without ending.
We come now to a time in our service where we share parish concerns, where we mark beginnings and endings. This week, we do not have particular names that have been shared with us for this time of joys and concerns, but we encourage you, if you would like to have a name lifted up from the pulpit, to let us know in the future. But instead, let us hold together those beginnings and endings, those concerns, the anniversaries, the losses, the births, as a group. So I invite you to speak the names that are on your hearts, bring them to your lips and into this space. Please join me now in a spirit of reverence, of prayer, as I share this prayer written by Tess Baumgartner. Let us make this earth a heaven, right here, right now. Who knows what existences death will bring? Let us create a heaven here on earth, where love and truth and justice reign. Let us welcome all at our pearly gates, our freedom table, amid singing and great rejoicing, black, white, yellow, red, and all our lovely colors, straight, gay, transgendered, bisexual, and all the ways of loving each other's bodies. Blind, deaf, mute, healthy, sick, variously abled, young, old, fat, thin, gentle, cranky, joyous, sorrowing. Let no one feel excluded. Let no one feel alone. May the rich let loose their wealth to rain upon the poor. May the poor share their riches with those too used to money. May we come to venerate the earth, our mother, and tend her with wisdom and compassion. May we make our earth an Eden, a paradise. May no one wish to leave her. May hate and war cease to clash in causes too old and too tired to name. Religion, nationalism, the false, false god of gold, deep-rooted ethnic hatreds. May these all disperse and wane. May we see each other's true selves. May we all dwell together in peace and joy and understanding. Let us make a heaven here on earth before it is too late. Let us make this earth a heaven for each other's sake. Let us hold silence together.
We are in stewardship season here at First Parish. The bulk of what sustains our congregation is your pledges and donations. And we are grateful for everything that you give of your time and talent and your treasure. Peter Lowett is here to offer a testimonial about why he pledges.
Thank you, Liz. Well, it's that time of year again when we're asked, what value do we place on First Parish in Concord? And then folks like me stand before you and explain why we're moved to support our religious home. And that's what I'm going to do now. I was raised a Unitarian Universalist. My dad was raised Jewish and my mom was raised Presbyterian. So being UUs was sort of a logical choice for them, as it is today for families seeking to give their kids religious education grounding. I always thought of church as a place where my parents went to organize for the next civil rights march or anti-war march. I was a child of the 60s. I saw my parents living out their social action vision, and that inspired me. Marilyn and I raised our 2 boys as UUs. One aspect of First Parish in Concord that we knew little about, but that intrigued us, was the Partnership Church program. After hearing Roger Matledge speak about Transylvania, we were hooked and became what we termed reluctant pilgrims. On the 2014 visit to Seke Karastur, Our visit opened our eyes to the history of Unitarianism. In fact, did you know that King John Sigismund of Transylvania signed the Edict of Torda in 1568? This was one of the first religious freedom edicts, and it recognized the legal status of Lutherans, Reformed, Catholics, and Unitarians, and was the result of Frank David, the founder of Unitarianism, winning a debate. The king arranged for a debate between the various religions, and Frank David won. In those days, the residents of the kingdom followed the wishes of their ruler, and many converted to Unitarianism. The losers often were given the choice to convert or to die. Because David asked the king to allow for religious toleration, and it was enacted into law, the Unitarians survived when the Catholics came back into power. Our relationship with Unitarians in Transylvania was lost to many of us in the US and Europe until the end of the Cold War. This year, we're celebrating 30 years of partnership with our partner church in Seke Kurastur. I encourage folks to contact Tim Whitney and consider becoming reluctant pilgrims yourselves and learn about our religious heritage in one of the most beautiful and undeveloped areas of Europe. Tim is heading up another visit this fall. But what really moves me as a member of First Parish is the ability to live out our shared vision. This congregation voted to get off of fossil fuels a few years ago, and I've had the great good pleasure to work with the folks on the Greening the Campus team to move us toward that goal. This church offers its members a lot of opportunities for getting involved at the level of effort you are able and willing to give. Just take a look at the banners for some of those opportunities. Consider your pledge an investment in our shared community, and please give generously. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. In a moment when we take up the offering, you can put your pledge cards right in the plate. You can also email it to us, etc., etc. We share our offering collection each month in a 50-50 split between the good work of this congregation and the good work of an organization beyond our walls. This month, the Coming of Age youth have chosen Common Cathedral as our organization, and Common Cathedral's executive director, Reverend Carrington Moore, is here to share a good word about that work. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, First Parish of Concord. It's been with you all. It's been a blessing to be with you all this past hour. It's been full of music, of love, and community. There's a beautiful poem that I want to share with you, and it goes like this. I will never let you go. To and fro we wrestle until you realize I am here to stay. My beautiful dreams, I will cling to you forever and a day. My loving dreams when you call for help in distress because our grip is getting weak. I pray my soul will be swift to answer you and be jubilant to my feet. I will never let you go because losing you is losing me. Losing us affects eternity. I have no choice. I can't let you go. We together, we are here to stay. My beautiful dreams, my wondrous dreams, I'll hold on to you forever and a day. There's a young man named Joseph. He's actually not young anymore, but he still calls himself a young man. Joseph is in his mid-60s, and Joseph has struggled with being chronically unhoused for the last 15 years. About 5 months ago, Joseph found himself on the housing list of Boston. And we were talking in our Bible study one day about what is your dream? And Joseph, he began to share, and Joseph said, it is my dream to one day to have a simple house, to invite over my daughter, for her to bring over their grandchildren, my grandchildren, for us to enjoy some hot chocolate and enjoy each other's company, for me to be able to offer a safe haven for my children and grandchildren. Although our unhoused community, they might struggle with chronic poverty, but they also have beautiful dreams. And your support and your love allows us to walk and to accompany our unhoused brothers and sisters, our unhoused siblings in ways that I can't always share. But your love, your kindness, your generosity allows for that to happen. So thank you to the coming of age young people. Thank you, First Parish in Concord, for all that you do. I will never let you go. To and fro we wrestle until you realize I am here to stay. My beautiful dreams, I will cling to you forever and a day. My loving dreams, will you call for help in distress because our grip is getting weak? I pray my soul be swift to answer you and be jubilant at my feet. I will never let you go because losing you is losing me. Losing us affects eternity. I have no choice. I can't let you go. We together, we are here to stay. My beautiful dreams, I will cling to you forever and a day. God bless you.
Thank you, Reverend, for that good word. The morning offering will now be gratefully received.
One beautiful day, we will awaken to find that we all have shared the same thing. Then we shall rise in celebration, eager to see what we have seen. I got two hands, gonna clap my hands together. I got two legs, gonna dance the heaven's door. I got
Thank you again, Southern Rail. Thank you again, Reverend Moore. I invite y'all to say hi to both and all of them at coffee hour. And as you go forth into coffee hour, into your daily lives, may you know that the door is wide open and waiting for you. Whatever is on your heart, may there also be moments of joy as we work together to bring about heaven here on earth. Let's rise and say together our benediction across the miles to one another. Go out into the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. honor all beings.
that